Hey you guys, this is an update on my sauerkraut and the dark leafy greens that I have lacto-fermented. Just wanted to give you an idea of what to look for to make sure everything is going well, or what's a sign of a brew or a ferment that's not going well. So here you can see I have my crock of sauerkraut and my crock of lacto-fermented dark leafy greens. Now there's a difference between the two, other than color, obviously, and I'm going to point that out. Here in the sauerkraut, and I'm going to try to show you as best I can, there are air pockets between the actual strips of sauerkraut. Not only that, you can see the good layer of water I have, that's about 1.5 inches, but if you look on the top, there's bubbles. The bubbles are a byproduct of the microbial process. They produce gas, and so that's a sign that your kraut is good. It's working. Here, on the other hand, my dark leafy greens are not as gassy. They're just starting to get gassy, and the reason why, I believe, is because I put too much salt in this mixture. And what I was able to do was actually come back and taste the actual brine. This is what you can do if you're not sure if it's working, is a day after you actually make the leafy greens, go and taste the brine and see if there isn't too much salt in it, because I actually did way too much salt in my brine. And what that does is it inhibits microbial growth. It can even kill bacteria, and it's more for pickling. So what I ended up doing is I dumped out quite a bit of the liquid, and I replaced it with non-chlorinated or filtered water to dilute the solution to make it less salty. That way I can start to get the bacteria to grow. So that's why the other batch isn't as gassy, doesn't have as many bubbles. And then the other one, it does, because that one I hardly had to add any liquid to the mixture. I think cabbage is just typically more moist than kale and collards, so I didn't have to worry about that. I'm also going to show you another project I'm working on that is inspired by Pioneer Living Again, Karamia, and I'm part of a group that is making sourdough starter. So let me show you my sourdough starter. Hey, so here is my 2 jars of sourdough starter. You can see I have them in a glass jar and also in another glass case, and the reason why is because I'm gonna make a hot water bath for them, because the temperature needs to be into the 80s, and it's fairly cold in my house, and that's gonna really give them a chance to start proliferating. And so this is about 1.5 days old, and what happened was I had 1 jar that actually started overflowing. The dough began to rise, and so I split it into 2 jars, and then I added a little bit of flour just to give it some extra incentive to flourish. And so now I'm going to have 2 sourdough starters, and one I can use and one I can use to culture another sourdough starter. So I'll just constantly have sourdough starters. And I'm really excited about this, because this is going to save me money on having to buy bread and things like that, and I can make my own, which is way healthier than the type you buy at the store. Just because the sourdough process of fermenting the actual dough, this gets rid of the phytates, this gets rid of the phytic acid, and so people who have adverse reactions to wheat are not going to experience that when they eat sourdough. Sourdough is a lot healthier version of dough than any other type, unless you can make sprouted dough. But I've tried that, and it's nearly impossible. It comes down to a fine art. I mean, I studied chemistry before, and this is harder than some of the things that I've done in my classes. So just wanted to kind of let you know what I'm up to in terms of food and trying to use some traditional skills, and a special thanks to Karamia for making her video. I'm just loving those videos. And yeah, so that's an update. Thanks very much for watching.